another week here. Welcome on into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and we're a couple weeks out from the AZ NFF Student Athlete Banquet. So we're going to have more on that with Eliav Goodbye and Social Spotlight later in the show. We're also going to hand the reins off to Eliav as well for some prep basketball talk with insider Greg Rosenberg. But Claudia, we've talked a lot about coaching moves and all that stuff. So we're bringing in Eric Sorensen today, and I got to say, he's a heavy hitter in this space. So I'm excited.
Yeah, there's no question that if you have questions about coaching changes, he might not tell you, but Eric Sorensen knows all. So here he is. Well, we're with Eric Sorensen now, and I think as a team at Sports 360 AZ, when there's coaching changes, Eric is the one to call. Somehow, Eric, you are always on top of it all and know everything before any. I feel like sometimes even the schools know who's getting hired. So, Eric, that's why we have you on today because this time of year, it's all about coaching changes. I'm going to start with a big one, Centennial, obviously leaving a very big legacy behind to fill. What's happening over there?
Well, first of all, guys, great to be with you. And Claudia, I appreciate the kind words. Andrew Taylor is the next Taylor, I guess you could say at Centennial. This was not a huge surprise. They interviewed a total of three candidates, and Taylor, to me, was the front runner in all of this. He's much different, though, than his dad in a lot of ways. Their personalities are completely different. He's a little bit more of the straight up X's and O's defensive minded, put your hand in the dirt type coach. I think his dad is, as you guys know quite well, is a little bit more laid back, loves the old man jokes and things like that. But this is going to be interesting to watch because, to be honest, Andrew Taylor is not loved by everyone. Richard Taylor is loved by everyone. Not the case with his son, but he knows the blueprint. I mean, he's been running the defense for the last, 15 years or something like that. This is a very seamless transition for the Coyotes.
Yeah,
Quick
and
question, just because I'm curious if it's part of you saying him not being quite as loved. Is that just because that is, I mean, it's his dad, but those are still really big shoes to fill. Do you feel like it's just no matter who gets hired, following a legacy like that is just going to be hard to do?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that person, but if there's one person that can handle it, it's got to be Andrew Taylor's kid because he knows how his dad likes to run things. So I'm sure he's going to implement some of his own philosophies, but it's nothing different than the Coyotes have seen in the past. He's just elevating it from the defensive coordinator now into the head coaching position, and it's a legacy program, guys. I mean, it's gonna be a plug and play type situation for as long as Centennial is one of, if not the best schools on the West Side.
yeah, young roster, lots of talent there coming off a 6A championship. I mean, tons to work with. Staying a little bit, central and on the west side. So you got a chance to know the Carter brothers even before they were at Desert Edge. They leave last year after everything that happened at the end of their time at Desert Edge. They're back now at Maryvale. When you heard that that was going down and you were starting to get, inklings that they were coming back, how'd you feel and how'd this play out from your eyes?
It's the perfect marriage for both sides, guys. I mean, I look at Maryvale like South Mountain 2.0. It's a very similar situation. South was way, way, way down. However, they did have football success back in the day. Maryvale is no different. They've only won, I believe, 8 games over the last 6 seasons, but they've had really good players come through there. Granted, it was a long time ago, but you're looking at Darren Woodson, you're looking at Mitchell Friedman, who played on ASU's Rose Bowl team, Kevin Gilbreth, who was an awesome running back at U of A, Felipe Sparks, I'm sure you're quite familiar with his daughter. He was also a really good college and pro player. And Maryvale is a situation where they can come in and basically kind of just do the same thing they did at South. It's going to take some time, but the expectations are so much lower. And there's such a bigger purpose at Maryvale, I think, than winning football games, especially it's a lower socioeconomic area. And those kids need something to do when they're not in school. And being around the Carters and being a part of a program and something bigger than yourself is so important.
And there's a lot of coaches that get that, but they are two of the best at it. I mean, they are culture setters, not only, what they do through football, but getting kids right academically, keeping them out of tough situations away from school.
This is sort of a do-over for the Carters too. They left under so much scrutiny and some anger, I think, on from them and from the AIA in one way or the other. And I think a year away being in Georgia and realizing that their heart was always in Arizona. The plan was always to come back here. They went for a couple other jobs that they didn't get. But when I heard that Maryvale was going to be the play, it's great. It's great. It's great to have the Carters back, and it's great for Maryvale and that entire district.
Eric, when we asked you to come on with us, you immediately were like, we're going to talk Chaparral. What's going on there?
Oh, Claudia, where do we start? I mean, the 6A state championship in 2020 for the Firebirds seems like 40 years ago, doesn't it? We talk about the lack of recent success at Maryvale. Chaparral only has 8 wins in the last 3 years, which is crazy to think about. But that whole school and that area and everything around that football program is transitioning, and it's not transitioning in a good way. Okay, the enrollment at Chaparral is way down. They're moving from 6A to 5A, which I think is great. But an assistant coach told me Chaparral has 4A talent. That's the reality of the situation. And their district and that area of Paradise Valley, you're not going to get young families moving into $1 and $2 million houses at the base of Camelback Mountain. That just doesn't happen. They don't have the benefit of getting a lot of transfers. And the urban sprawl that a lot of these Southeast Valley and West Valley schools are seeing, it's not happening at Chaparral.
Eric, honestly, you brought up quite a few points that I hadn't even thought of. I mean, if anyone wants to put me in $1 million home at the base of Camelback, I'm all in. But since that's not an option, let's move on to some job openings that you're interested in seeing getting filled.
There's still so many of them, guys. It's crazy. We're reaching the end of February, and there's still more than a handful of openings. One school that I think is going to hire a coach very soon, I think they've made their decision, is Verrado. And Verrado is one of those West Valley schools that it's a good situation. Jeremy Hathcock in one season took that team to the playoffs, and there's enough talent there and enough new houses and people moving into that area that's a pretty good job. And the person who I feel that is going to be the next coach there is very, very familiar with that situation.
Yeah, as someone that lives over there, I'm like 10 minutes away from Verrado. It is growing so fast. Every time I drive that way, a little bit further west than I am, I'm like blown away by what I'm seeing. Last thing I really got for you too, back-to-back years of a lot of coaching movement. Is that just what the scene is now? Are we expecting this every year, or has it just been a weird 2 years? 60 plus jobs last year. We're on pace for about that this year. Is that the new norm?
Oh, Spurge, that's so crazy to hear you say that. It's a number of things. I think if you really zoom out and look at the big picture, it's hard to be a high school football coach. There's a lot of demands. The pay is not always great. If you're running a 5A or 6A or a high level 4A program, it's a year-round commitment. And I know coaches go through burnouts, and I know there's a lot of pressure to win. And if a coach doesn't feel like they can win enough at this current job that they're in, they're going to look to jump ship. I mean, we had a lot of big name, highly successful coaches move around. And all it takes, guys, is a couple dominoes. And once they start falling and another job opens up and then another job opens up and then another job opens up, I think it's cool, though, that a lot of the coaches in Arizona who are moving jobs are moving to other jobs in Arizona. And that says a lot about the type of football that we play out here.
Right. Or even leaving the state and coming back like Ty Wisdom and now the Carter brothers as well. Well, Eric, we appreciate you joining us. For those that are looking to stay up to date with coaching moves, definitely follow him on X and Twitter because you are all over it. You're usually one of the first people I look to or be like, okay, that job's getting filled. He's tweeting something ominous the day before it's happening or hours before. So definitely follow Eric there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it anytime.
When I started to compete, they told me I should stop. When I came in dead last, they told me I should stop. When colleges didn't recruit me, they told me I should stop. What they didn't know is that I am unstoppable.
Let us help you be unstoppable with your financial goals at desertfinancial.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix. and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. Oh yeah, baby! Let's go! Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
This is a Santan Ford announcement.
Santan Ford has over 1,600 new cars and trucks in stock.
All models are priced for immediate sale to make room for more arrivals.
Don't wait.
Head to Tim Hovey's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
We are Santan Ford.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Visit us at Harrah's Auction Casino in the city of Maricopa, where you'll find play for all and friendly people ready to welcome you like family.
Welcome back, you two.
As the official sponsor of Play and the only casino in Arizona with Caesars Rewards, see what a difference it makes to play where your fun is our top priority. Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all.
What would you need to experience life in full motion? Expertise to provide the best care, unsurpassed training and technique. It requires the best orthopedic surgeons. Ortho Arizona.
When I started to compete, they told me I should stop. When I came in dead last, they told me I should stop. When colleges didn't recruit me, they told me I should stop. What they didn't know is that I am unstoppable.
Let us help you be unstoppable with your financial goals at desertfinancial.com.
What's up? Welcome back into Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon, and we're going to bring it on over to Eliav Gabay because if we want to know anything about basketball, we had Eric when we want to know about coaching changes, but if there's someone on our team who knows everything about hoop talk, that is Eliav Gabay.
Yeah, so we're bringing you a little bit of hoop talk action inside of Bleacher Talk, a little bit like the Matrix here. We're taking the red pill and we're going into hoop talk. Greg Rosenberg and Eliav Gabay on some prep basketball.
Welcome into Hoop Talk. I'm Eliav Gabay alongside Greg Rosenberg. And Greg, we're here at AZ Compass Prep because the playoffs have begun and they are hot. Overall, what have you seen from the prep talent this season?
I think it's some of the best talent that I've been since I started scouting in Arizona since 2012.
Wow.
And nationally ranked teams, the Bella Vista team, they were just watching their A team just went to IMG and won in double overtime. The coach just texted me. So nationally ranked AZ Compass House here, they're also nationally ranked. You got Phoenix Prep, Hillcrest, Dream City. I mean, it's a who's who in town right now in the West Coast is in Arizona.
And how does the prep style of basketball compare to other divisions in the state?
You know, it's a little more faster pace, a lot of bigger bodies, just period. You know, instead of your center is 6'7", maybe the center now is 7 foot. You know, just the athleticism's, and not every school, but in general is a little higher at the prep world. Everything's a little quicker paced. It's harder to like score if it's like half court set. Obviously when it gets up and down, everyone's, you know, it's a dunk fest, but in the actual half court set, I mean, you're talking like 6'10", 6'7", 6'7", 6'4", 6. Like every single kid is long, tall, athletic. it just makes it harder to score.
And you and I have talked about guys like Ty Washington, who started at AIA and then switched the prep school route. And of course, Ty ended up going to Kentucky, and now he's back home playing for the G League Suns. How has the prep school experience, if you will, affected their trajectories?
I don't think it affects anyone, really. I think it's each kid, it's so different. Like, you know, the traditional cheerleaders and the prom and all that little more social, it's more like your business. It's like you're actually almost in college already. You're just kind of getting that feel. And a lot of college coaches are obviously at those games, but it's like more professionally run, almost like a G League from the NBA. But like there's a lot of talent in the AIA still. But you know, everyone's choosing their own different routes. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other.
Greg Rosenberg, always keeping us connected. Thank you, my guy. For Greg, I am Eliav Gabay. This is Hoop Talk.
Yeah, today's kids and tomorrow's stars. And I was so impressed with what they do for the kids, I asked how I could get involved. They had me call one of the branches, which is this branch where you're at today, which is the Elizabeth Sands branch, which is part of Buzz Sands' family. And they said, do you do cooking? I said, cooking? I said, absolutely. And so here, lo and behold, this is next year will be my 10th year.
Chef Jeff is a staple at the Boys and Girls Club Lewis and Elizabeth Sands branch. After years of experience cooking at Cardinals tailgate experiences, he enjoys giving back to the kids.
I really partnered with the Dillingham family, John and Jerry Dillingham. And when they moved out to the new stadium, out to the West Valley here, we went ahead and we heard there was going to be a tailgate kind of competition. And so on the last minute, we decided to go ahead, enter into this tailgate competition, and lo and behold, we won it. And this small tailgate of 20 people wound up to be a tradition out there all the way up until COVID, and we cooked for about 150 people every game. Just to get involved and volunteer, and many of these branches need volunteers, I got to tell you, seeing the faces and seeing how they react and seeing how appreciative, I can't tell you how many kids come up, either hug me or say they love being part of it, thank me. You can see that they really value it. And that's part of the things I think they teach here at a Boys and Girls Club.
We love working with Chef Jeff because he just brings out the energy and the charisma, and the kids love him and they know him and they really enjoy his food.
Along with the burgers from Chef Jeff, the kids get to enjoy activities with those they look up to, including Mountain Ridge flag football players like Sophia.
I do see some of their faces and we say like, oh, we play football. They're like, oh, really? So it's really nice to see that they're kind of getting the idea of what's going on. Thank you to the Boys and Girls Club, and thank you to Trey for really inviting me out here.
When I started to compete, they told me I should stop. When I came in dead last, they told me I should stop. When colleges didn't recruit me, they told me I should stop. What they didn't know is that I am unstoppable.
Let us help you be unstoppable with your financial goals at desertfinancial.com.
It's the model year end kickoff sales event going on now at Burge Mazda. Now's the time to save on the very latest 2025 Mazda models, like a 2025 CX-5, just $299 a month, or the versatile CX-50, just $289 a month, or save with 2.9% financing on the luxurious CX-90. Now's the time to upgrade and save at Burge Mazda during the model year kickoff event. Come in and celebrate at Burge Mazda, Baseline and Country Club.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring. Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Ortho Arizona and my journey. My knees were shot, so I had double knee replacement, and I wanted the best in rehab. Ortho Arizona encouraged and pushed me in the process. Go to orthoarizona.org. That's orthoarizona.org.
Welcome back into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and we've had a great show so far. Eliav Goodbye was with Greg Rosenberg talking basketball, but now we bring him back for Social Spotlight, and the AZ NFF Student Athlete Banquet is coming up. We're 2 weeks away, so we're very excited to honor all these athletes. So we're going to run it back this week with another Social Spotlight formed around the NFF show. Eliav, what do you got for us?
Well, we're starting with a familiar face, Trenton Bourget. We know him as a Sun Devil, and he was a star at Marana, and he's sticking around State 48. Trenton Bourget, shout out to our guy Jordan Ham for catching this. He is going to be the assistant running backs coach at Arizona State. Spurge, I know you and I have had a chance to talk with Trenton a lot. A great guy and so deserving of this opportunity. He's going to be a great coach.
He cares so much about the community out here, high school football wise, and of course around college. And anyone that spent, a few minutes around him or just watched a practice at ASU the last couple of years, he may not have been the most physically talented player, but he's been one of the smartest players on the field. You can watch him coaching up guys like Sam Levitt. He was coaching up Rashada the year before that. And you can see what he does. He sees the field so well from a coach's perspective as a player. And that's why when he did play as a Sun Devil, he played really well. He beat Washington. At one point, ASU was the only team to beat Washington in like 2 years. He came in and lit it up. Against U of A that same year with Sean Aguano at the helm, over 400 yards passing. I mean, he is just so smart, and you got the most out of his playing ability because of his mind. He's going to be awesome as a coach. Awesome of ASU to keep him on the staff and give him a chance and learn new positions. Running back is going to be a great place for him to continue to learn and grow. And ASU has been kind of like RBU lately. Sean Aguano is one of the best coaches, and that's why we've had so many great running backs. So, yes, running backs is new to him, but he's going to learn a lot from Sean Aguano and, of course, Kenny Dillingham, and super excited for Trenton in his future and glad we're honoring him.
Great leadership all over that program. Also, great leadership with the NFF AZ crew, starting with the president, Braden Dockel, showing some of his leadership right here, assisting with the showcase at Ottawa University. Claudia, I know we all know Braden well, but you've had a chance to really observe how his leadership has affected NFFAZ.
You know what I think it really is? He just cares. I think that's what it comes down to. And what I like to think that we do at Sports 360 AZ well as well is just caring about the athletes. This is totally not a money-driven program. It is all about like honoring these student athletes, giving them a platform, giving them something to put on their resume as a token of success. And I really think that's what makes a good leader, is putting other people before yourself and being able to inspire the generations that are behind you. And also he, runs the ship at Via Luna, basically. Big fans of Via Luna. So, I mean, I guess he can do it all, right?
Yes, he can. And leaders come in a bunch of different ways, as teachers, as coaches, and as players. One of those players is Gio Richardson for Basha. He was honored with the CUSD Player of the Year, 8 touchdowns, over 940 yards, and just a fun player to watch overall. Another great kid and a great representation of what Arizona high school football is all about, Spurge.
Yeah, we talked about it with Brad Sesmat. One of the coolest things about this show is you have sometimes one of the top players in the state, like a Gio Richardson this year, with guys that are from all over the state, and they're on the stage together. And so we love recognizing what they do in the classroom, but it goes to show you can be a top player and still take care of business in the classroom the way he has. he was able to graduate early and get himself down to Tucson, where he's going to play for U of A. So Gio took care of business, obviously, in the classroom and on the field, leading Basha to another great season, back-to-back years, having one of their best players be honored here. Damon Williams last year, same reason, couldn't make it to the event because he was already in Tucson and then up in Washington as well. But we love that even when they can't be there, we get to honor them for the work they did and as leaders and someone setting the example for the rest of the guys, not only this year, but to come.
Well, that's all we got for Social Spotlight. Congrats to all the student athletes.
And thanks, Elliot, for helping put together such an amazing show. Thank you for joining us on Bleacher Talk. We'll see you next week.
When I started to compete, they told me I should stop. When I came in dead last, they told me I should stop. When colleges didn't recruit me, they told me I should stop. What they didn't know is that I am unstoppable.
Let us help you be unstoppable with your financial goals at desertfinancial.com.
This is a Santan Ford announcement. Santan Ford has over 1,600 new cars and trucks in stock. All models are priced for immediate sale to make room for more arrivals. Don't wait. Head to Tim Hovig's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
We are Santan Ford.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains.
Oh yeah, baby! Let's go!
Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Let's talk about Venezia's Pizzeria. New York-style pizza. Oh man, this looks so good. Pizza doughs made fresh daily, wings, subs, sandwiches, pasta. They cater, they deliver. They have 5 Valley locations. Venezia's New York-style Pizzeria.